Yo, what is going on, everyone in crypto space? Thank you guys for tuning the channel today. Really do appreciate it. Now, today I got more very interesting information for you guys today. So first, we're going to go over this quick video from Steven Dieppe, where it's Ryan Zagone speaking at an IMF event, and he essentially explains how proof of work essentially does not work, and why XRP's adoption is being held back is because of, regulatory uncertainty and not actual technical issues, unlike proof of work. And then we're going to tie this into a very, very interesting article from CNBC that essentially says that the federal government will be granting federal bank-like licenses to tech-driven financial institutions. So let's go ahead, get into it. And then first of all, I want you guys to watch this video from Steven Dieppe. It's Ryan Zagone. And what's really interesting about this video is, like, when you hear Ryan Zagone speak, you can hear a sense of passion, and I don't want to say like slight aggression, but you can hear his tone kind of change, because it seems like he's almost irritated the fact that there's not a level playing field for XRP, because, the government's just treating Bitcoin and Ethereum like commodities, but then won't say anything else about XRP. And that's why XRP's real adoption and true utility is being held back, is because of this uncertainty and not because of, technical issues. So let's go ahead and give this video a watch and just pay attention to Ryan Zagone's tone. And also keep in mind that these two guys right here, these are the pro proof of work guys. Essentially, they like very inefficient coins. So let's go ahead and give this a listen.
Proof of work.
Great. I'm going to invite Ryan and Desiree. I don't know if you would like to comment on this as well. But Ryan, go ahead.
Proof of work doesn't work. Proof of work doesn't work. It's been widely...
Ryan, proof of work's been working.
Let me finish.
Proof
of work doesn't
work.
work.
Let him finish, please.
And in the early days of Bitcoin, there was a whole group of developers that broke off to create other assets, XRP being one of them, that doesn't use mining, that's cheaper from an energy perspective than Visa, and already scales to 1,500 transactions a second. A lot of these problems have already been solved. The challenge for adoption comes back to policy. The policy uncertainty around some of the assets has limited adoption, particularly here in the US. And I'm speaking from Ripple and XRP because we use that asset because it's a half a cent per payment. It's basically free. It scales and it's efficient. It's 1,500 transactions a second at nearly no energy burn. So we're at a point today where there are real solutions to all of these challenges that already exist. Policy has become the challenge. And we heard on the first panel that around centralization on China, and this is going to be a hard pill for Peter to swallow. But 80% of the mining power for Bitcoin is controlled by 6 mining pools, 5 of which are in China. Today, the policy certainty in the US exists for Bitcoin and Ethereum, despite the fact those are China-controlled platforms. So activity goes to those platforms. What we need to do from a policy perspective in the US is look at the places where there are uncertainty. And one place, I'm speaking directly for me here, is XRP, where it looks like Bitcoin. It's decentralized, it's open source. We have 7% of the validation power on that, rather small in there. Grouping or giving clarity to those ones that are very similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, that have the same characteristics and should be classified the same way. And then we're creating a level playing field across all the cryptos. I'm not anti-Bitcoin or anti-Ethereum by any means. I think there's a lot of great potential and breakthrough there. But we need to have a level playing field so the market can pick which ones they want to use and not be, as today they are, hindered by regulatory uncertainty.
So talking on the topic of regulatory uncertainty and policy, this ties us into today's article, or actually an article from CNBC posted last Monday on January 14th, and it says Fintech firms want to shake up banking, and that worries the Fed. And by the way, if you didn't know, payment service providers are actually stealing a lot of the banking consumer-to-consumer transactions. I think they've lost like 40% like the last 5-10 years, something like that. Don't quote me on it. It's just a statistic I did here recently. Now, listen to what this says from the federal government. Listen to this. Okay, so the U.S. Federal Reserve is wary of giving fintech firms, and also, this article does kind of say how the government is a little bit skeptical about, giving essentially the central banking infrastructure to essentially like third-party fintech firms. But aside from that, it's not really what's important here, so let's just go ahead and read on. So the U.S. Federal Reserve is wary of giving fintech firms such as OnDeck, Capital, or Cabbage access to country's financial infrastructure, putting the central bank at odds with other regulators looking to bring them into the fold. Now listen to this. So the OCC and the FDIC, you'll see the FDIC when you walk into banks, that's, your insurance up to like $250,000. So the OCC and the FDIC are exploring granting federal bank-like licenses to tech-driven firms that offer financial services, such as money transfers and lending. And this is a plan that's part of, Donald Trump's administration to boost small businesses and promote job growth. So federal licenses would allow fintech firms, which currently operate under patchwork of state rules, to reduce their regulatory costs and expand into new regions and products. So the federal government is actually looking into exploring or granting federal bank-like licenses to these tech-driven firms that offer financial services. So essentially what could be happening here is, with Ripple's pristine regulatory engagement, I mean, look, they're literally just Brian Zagone was literally just there with the IMF, as well as, Ripple has Corey Johnson from Ripple actually confirmed they did actually engage with the White House administration. So I wonder if this actually has anything to do with that discussion from 2 months ago. But essentially, guys, what it's looking like is that tech-driven firms that offer financial services like Ripple could now receive a license from the government to actually operate within the country and actually expand into, where does it say that here? Expand into new regions and products. So essentially what we're looking like here is that Ripple specifically, or any other tech firm that's, driven by financial services, could receive a license from the government to actually give that regulatory clarity. Because again, Ryan Zagone is saying the whole reason why XRP is being held back is not because of technical issues. Technically, the technology is flawless from a technological aspect, but the problem is we have this lack of infrastructure around XRP, and Bitcoin and Ethereum are getting treated with the, the respect of, oh, hey, it's not a security, it's a commodity, it's okay. But XRP never got any of that clarity. So maybe, just maybe, if we put our speculation caps on here, that Ripple could receive a federal bank-like license that allows them to use digital assets for transfers, which is really awesome. So this is from last Monday again that they're saying this. So honestly, it really seems like the federal government is wanting to, engage, kind of help with the regulation aspect with these startups, again, because this is part of Trump's plan to boost small businesses and promote job growth. And what a better way to do that than to give licenses to tech-driven firms that offer financial services. And essentially what they're saying with tech-driven firms, they're talking about new innovative technology that's being built on top of these financial services, which is exactly what Ripple does. And Ripple can save banks like 80 to 90%. And by getting this federal bank-like license, that would give them 100% federal approval to operate in the US, and that would be the perfect regulatory clarity to get XRP. So honestly, guys, I'm seeing this as a possibility that Ripple might be granted this federal bank-like license, because again, they did in the past engage with the White House administration. So this is not out of the realm of possibilities here that they receive this license so they can actually operate in the US, and finally, these banks that have been wanting to use Ripple can finally use it because the regulatory clarity is there. Seriously, regulators, they need to help us out. And like Ashish Birla said, regulators, they do want to be a catalyst for innovation. And this would be it right here. Ripple to get a full-on federal bank-like license from the US to therefore have seamless deployment all across the US with no regulatory clarity, because now Ripple can go to clients and go, hey, we actually have a license to use digital assets for money transfer services, so the regulatory clarity is there. That would honestly be the Hail Mary for Ripple in terms of regulation. And honestly, it would help if the government would open back up. And they're saying right here, House passes bill to end US government shutdown. I hope they open the thing. I mean, all politics aside, I don't consider myself Republican nor Democrat, but I mean, all politics aside, it's like, honestly, just open back up the government. Let's get this crypto regulation through. We need to drive innovation for financial services in this country because they're just so dated, honestly. All right, thank you guys for watching the video today. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe, check links in the description to get yourself a legendary Nano S, keep that cryptocurrency safe, and make sure to turn on post notifications so you never miss a video or stream. And as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you prefer video without face cam? I'm kind of trying this out a little bit. I'm thinking about doing a little bit less face cam. I feel like it's a little bit easier for me to talk because I don't have to focus on, looking on the camera and, making sure my posture is correct. So it's a little bit easier to talk. So let me know in the comments below, do you prefer face cam or do you prefer no face cam? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So I'll see you guys in the next one.